Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss, also known as the Winklevoss twins, have an amazing story. Check this out. They're best known today for amassing a $6 billion fortune from Bitcoin. However, did you know that they're also Olympians? They competed in the Beijing Olympics in 2008 for men's rowing. And did you also know they have a claim as the original founders of Facebook? They had hired Mark Zuckerberg to write some code for them, which was then later used to create Facebook. A bit controversial, however, after a legal dispute, they were awarded $65 million in Facebook shares and cash as a settlement. From there, they went on to create Winklevoss Capital, a venture firm which invests in early stage companies. So obviously they're keeping an eye out for potential investment opportunities, and in 2013 they stumbled upon Bitcoin. They instantly saw the investment opportunity and invested $11 million. Fast forward to today, and they are now Bitcoin billionaires. Now, recently there was a big Bitcoin conference in Miami, and I'm going to be sharing some key insights from the Bitcoin billionaire twins. And one of the clips which inspired this video is on how to become a Bitcoin millionaire. So in this video, we'll be looking at why they believe it's still early days for Bitcoin, why Bitcoin is gold 2.0, how to become a Bitcoin millionaire, insights into what is going on in the world of institutional investors, and then finish with some final advice for investors. As always, if you do find anything useful in the video, drop a like, always appreciated. Okay, has Bitcoin become mainstream and matured, or are we still in the early stages? Here is what they had to say.
So we still think it's really early. We think Bitcoin's gold 2.0. It will disrupt gold, so its market cap has to be 10 trillion or more, because that's the market cap of gold. So Bitcoin's hovering around 1 trillion now. We still think it's at least conservatively a 10x from here. So even at 35,000, it feels like a really good buying opportunity long term, because we think at a $10 trillion market cap, we think one Bitcoin will be worth $500,000. And we think that could happen inside this decade, definitely the next 5 years. So we're hodlers at least until $500,000. And then at that point, you won't even have to sell because you can borrow off it or whatever.
Right.
Our gold 2.0 thesis is that Bitcoin disrupts gold. And we think that's the conservative bull case. Obviously, Bitcoin's a lot more than gold. It's an open source project that continues to evolve and can do so much more. It can become the global reserve digital currency of the world, of the galaxy. Like when we get to Mars, what's the currency going to be on Mars? It's going to be dollars? No, it's going to be Bitcoin.
So their premise is that Bitcoin is going to disrupt gold. And with gold's market cap of around $10 trillion and Bitcoin's market cap of around 1 trillion, this means there is at least another 10x opportunity from here. But it was the next point that was actually really interesting. It's the fact that Bitcoin is not just digital gold. It is in fact a much better version. And it was all about the difference between something that is scarce and something that is fixed. Take a look.
Yeah, and that's like small bull case, right? Like Bitcoin is software, gold is hardware. You can do so much more with software and iterate at such a faster clip. So I think 10 trillion is sort of like the conservative bull scenario. And there's so much gold in this universe, it's plentiful, like sand. Just on this planet, it's a little bit more scarce.
It's scarce, not fixed. And a lot of people don't understand that. Bitcoin's the only fixed asset that I know of in the world, in the galaxy. It's the hardest, soundest money we've ever known. 2/3 of the gold supply has been mined since 1950. So as the price for gold goes up, people find ways to mine it, it becomes more profitable. Technology breakthroughs, think of what's happening with natural gas in the US, with fracking. Now we're a natural exporter. Those breakthroughs can happen with gold.
We're an oil exporter, and in 2000s they thought peak oil in the US had happened, and now we export and we have
no technological breakthrough can change the supply of Bitcoin.
It does not expand with an increase of demand or technology. It just doesn't happen. There's no commodity like that ever.
So gold is scarce, but it's not fixed. With breakthroughs in technology or the mining process, we could bring millions more ounces to the marketplace, and this would really impact gold as a store of value. And the idea is that you can't do this with Bitcoin as the supply is fixed. Okay, next up is the clip that inspired this video. It's Cameron explaining how to become a Bitcoin millionaire. Check it out.
So a lot of people don't realize you don't have to buy just one Bitcoin. Like literally.
You can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin, everyone.
Yeah. You can buy Gemini and buy $5 worth of Bitcoin, a fraction. But a lot of people say, oh, it's $35,000, I'll never afford it. It's like you can buy a very, very small piece. And a fun fact, there's 46 million millionaires on the planet. It's only 21 million Bitcoins. So they won't own a Bitcoin. So if you own a Bitcoin today, you will be a millionaire in the future, for sure. Congratulations.
You guys are really buying favor with the audience, telling them that.
Yeah. I know how to win them over.
So there are 46 million millionaires and 8 billion people on the planet. And there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. So this means not every millionaire is going to be able to own one. So he says if you do own one of them, then you will become a millionaire. And I guess the caveat is that Bitcoin does go on to become the world's reserve money. Pretty cool, right? Next up, Tyler gives some great insights into the world of institutional investors and how it's also just getting started. Check it out.
So there's about 50,000 publicly traded companies globally on global exchanges,
Okay.
right? 32 of them have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Square, MicroStrategy, Tesla, only 32. Do we think that number is going down or going up, right? What happens when that number is 500, 100,000, 10,000? What does that do to the price of Bitcoin? It's not even it's like the second pitch of the first inning, you know, in terms of when you think of where this thing can go. And then when the companies all have Bitcoin on their balance sheet, then a central bank's going to fall because they have gold on their balance sheet, right? They do that because they know what they're doing by printing money. Right. They stack gold. They're just going to start stacking Bitcoin. So
don't watch what they say, watch what they do.
Yeah.
And they're stacking gold because that's what they know how to do, right? But they will stack.
But you're going to have more companies doing this. You're going to have central banks. You're going to have, you know, countries.
Is it just time? Is that all it takes for more companies and eventually
I
countries?
think a lot of it is time, and then continuing what happens with the debt loads and the fiat regimes. You know, that's making it very easy. You know, Bitcoin for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So there are about 50,000 publicly traded companies, and only 32 have decided to put Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And the question is, do we think that number is going up or down? Well, the trend is definitely up, as all these companies have only invested in the last year. And hot off the press, we now have our first country that has made Bitcoin legal tender. Could this be the start of many more countries to come? Well, to finish up, here are some final thoughts and advice from the Bitcoin billionaire twins. Here is what they had to say.
You can never have enough Bitcoin. We wish we bought earlier. We wish we bought more. Everybody says that no matter how much you have. So, and we'll look back on today like it was so early. I wish I bought at 35,000 or whatever. So it's super early days. It's maybe like the late 90s of the internet, but now you can own a piece of the internet. You don't have to pick the racehorse necessarily.
Yeah.
So just own a piece of, you know, Bitcoin, and it's going to work out.
And everybody says the same thing. They wish they'd bought earlier and they'd wish they'd bought more. And clearly they're still very bullish on Bitcoin. Okay, to finish up, with the big crash that happened and all this up and down, there's still a lot of fear, uncertainty and doubt, so I always like to keep track on the previous cycles, as it reminds me what's going on now has happened again and again. So here we have the Bitcoin price when compared to previous cycles. So in blue, we have the cycle from 2010 to 2013, and the price is on the right-hand side. And then the white is the current Bitcoin cycle with the price upon the left. And what you can see is that it's scarily correlated. We have these big run-ups initially, followed by these big pullbacks. It slowly begins to build. We have this huge joint run-up together. And when it goes up too fast, too quickly, we have these big pullbacks. And this is the one that just happened now. before we move into the third phase. And this is the cycle from 2016 to 2018 against the current Bitcoin price. And again, it's eerily correlated. We have these same run-ups. It had this same mid-cycle correction here with a big drop before going into the third phase and the big blow-off top. So, according to the billionaire Winklevoss twins, we are still very early on with Bitcoin and crypto. They see Bitcoin as a big disruptor to gold, which means there still is another 10x opportunity from here. In addition, there's still only 32 companies out of around 50,000 that have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And this was all done only in the last year. Bitcoin is the hardest money that we've created. It's not just scarce, but it's fixed. And looking at the previous Bitcoin cycles, these ups and downs, it looks like this is a pattern that just keeps repeating. For me personally, I have been buying the dip, and my next buy point will be Bitcoin around $25,000. And if it never goes down that far and just goes up from here, then all is good. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, then drop a like. And a big thank you to everyone who does. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I invite you to click below and join us. I do have some great videos coming up that you don't want to miss. Okay, cheers guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.